Well, good day, everyone. Let's talk about another crop we can produce using trees. Last week it was nuts, and this week it's maple syrup. So on the farm we have 40 sugar maple trees tapped, and we've been getting a number of good sap runs the last week or so. So to get a really good run of sap, two things need to occur with the temperature. Cool nighttime temperatures below zero and warm daytime temperatures above zero. It's really that simple. And without those two conditions, the tree doesn't start to wake up if the weather remains cold and the tree remains dormant. It's that awakening sensation that the warm weather creates that causes the sap to begin running up through the roots and in through the stem of the tree. Every year you want to rotate the bucket. I like to do a quarter turn around the tree. So it takes 4 years to get back over on roughly the same side as you've tapped this year. So 4 years from now we should be having a tap on the same side of the tree. So I learned an interesting bit of history on the sugar maple in Nova Scotia. A historian in Cape Breton was telling me how in the early years of settlement in northeastern Nova Scotia, so that period between 1800 and 1860, when a lot of the Scottish settlers came over, the sugar maple tree was often left. It wasn't harvested for lumber or for firewood, but they left it standing because they really relied on the sugars that the sap produced. And it's a once a year event, though it may occur multiple times. It's in a short time frame, say 3 weeks, and they had to collect as much sap as they could because any other form of sugar wasn't really readily available. And for the average farmer in the time with probably little to no income, buying sugar that was imported from elsewhere just wasn't possible. Now, sometime after Confederation, likely as a result of trade agreements and new imports from the Caribbean, the price of sugar for the average Nova Scotian began to decline and drop. And at that time, the sugar maple began to lose its importance as a producer of sugar and began just to be much more of a wood product. And that's probably why a lot of those old trees that used to adorn our floodplains in Nova Scotia were harvested. But at one time they were left, and there was a reason for it. This river is very fortunate to have some beautiful hemlocks growing along the side of it. They create a lot of shade, a lot of wildlife habitat. One of the rewarding things about managing a farm property is the amount of wildlife you see that is also living on the land. I just spooked this pair of mallard ducks, and you can see their little footprints. I don't know if they're thinking of making a nest here or what, but this is a section of stream that used to have pasture going right into it, and we've actually fenced out this entire bottom area just to kind of allow the river to have some room to move around instead of fighting it. So I just noticed, after looking at those other duck tracks, sitting up on the bank, might be hard to see, there's another pair of ducks. I'm not sure what they're doing here. Seems a little early for nesting. But we have installed a series of wood duck nesting boxes along this river. Oh, probably about 1.5 kilometers worth. So maybe they're going to use those. There's also lots of dead trees around that are still standing. That makes ideal nesting habitat. Beautiful sunset on the farm.